Hey Logan, Brandon here, and we're going to go ahead and try out new software to review some of the lifts that you sent over. So we'll start with the squat. Actually, I think that's the only one you sent, but we'll go ahead and start with that guy here. So looking at this, the first things I'm going to notice is that we are having a little bit of flexion as we get into the whole of the squat, and it seems to get a little worse each rep. Extension, flexion. There we go. So it's very minor. It's not something that I necessarily worry about in a huge way in terms of like injury or anything like that, but it is something that we can improve on. Keep in mind that when we go into extension or flexion, we mess with a lot of the length tension relationship downstream, our quads, our hamstrings, and all the primary movers in squat. And plus, it signifies that there's an energy leak, and we're not going to be able to brace at our fullest capacity. So for these reasons, and actually more to it than that, also, we're going to go ahead and really hammer down hard on that. And most of it's going to come from just getting better with hinging mechanics. There's a few drills I'd like to do right before squatting that'll carry over really, really nicely. But a big part is going to be hinging mechanics. And then next is going to be just maybe taking it a little slower as you ascend to the hole. And the biggest thing I want to work on, though, actually, even besides hinging mechanics, is your elbow position. If we go back to the video, which I'll do in a second, our elbows are pretty pitched out pretty far right here in our squat position. And ideally, we have a little further under us. We got to keep in mind that the lats are a spinal stabilizer. They are very important to have and keep contracted throughout the lift. So if our elbows are way out here, it's very unlikely that we'll be able to contract them and use them to our fullest ability. We got to treat it very similar to a classic lat pull down exercise, and we got to do that with a barbell. But if we lack the shoulder mobility to even get in this position, not only are we going to have problems hinging because you're kind of constantly pushing yourself over a little bit as you ascend in the hole, but also it's going to very much mess with our ability to contract our lats and stabilize our spine. So I think the biggest thing for you right now is just getting better mobility in that shoulder. I found a lot of success with not only doing a few drills I'll send over to you, but also doing a little tissue work either the night before or right before training. If you have a boomstick handy, you could take a boomstick, kind of pec major area where the shoulder inserts right around here. I'll do some external rotation stuff, putting the boomstick in there, changing spots, a few different spots, use about 3 spots per muscle, and then maybe doing some rear delt stuff as well, maybe doing some individual shoulder stuff. But a lot of tissue work, especially with movement added in, is going to be extremely rewarding for getting into better position and therefore increasing the efficiency of your squat. So I'd say besides the drills I'll go ahead and send over to you, I'd also encourage you to do some tissue work right before squatting to get in a better position to start with. Let's go ahead and look at the next video here. Yeah, just a little bit of flexion there. If anything, this one might be a little bit better, but we're still struggling with very similar issues. Elbows are a little further out than I'd like them to be, and I think that's primarily what's causing the extension and flexion right at the bottom. Again, there's far worse examples of this. Most of the time, people go into extension. It's at the top of the squat, and it's to an egregious degree. But at the same time, even minimal amounts of extension and flexion, especially when you get to heavier loads, can greatly affect your ability to produce force. So for you, I think taking elbows from about here right now to somewhere closer there, really over-exaggerating the contraction of the lats, depressing your scapula, and then also working on your hinging mechanics is going to be huge for the efficiency of your squat. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm going to go ahead and send those videos over to you. Just let me know if you have any questions or concerns or whatever else, and tell me if you like this new software.